International Organization for the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination. Very good. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. EAFORD, together with Geneva International Center for Justice, welcomes the report on addressing the impact of multiple and intersecting forms of discrimination and violence in the context of racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance on the full enjoyment of all human rights by women and girls. The report rightly addresses and recognizes that racial discrimination is intersecting and multifaceted, and that women and girls experience increased vulnerability to certain patterns of racism and racial discrimination. In many conflicts across the globe, such as the conflict in Myanmar or the war in Iraq, systematic rape and sexual-related violence of ethnic or religious minority women and girls is sadly becoming the norm. In this respect, data collection processes must be enhanced for the collection of disaggregated data in order for better protective and accountability measures. Also, in terms of protective measures, states must ensure that human rights education is provided to and implemented by local police officers and all those engaged in armed conflict. In terms of accountability measures, local and indigenous groups must be consulted and included in discussions and dialogues of judicial proceedings. Moreover, states must ensure that officials in high position remain responsible and subject to scrutiny and accountability for those within their authority. As well, racial discrimination and xenophobia against women and girls in relation to the recent catastrophic response to immigration, refuge and asylum must be taken seriously, as racial hate and speech has reached levels where members of society violently target refugee and migrant women and girls on the basis of physical appearance. Human rights education and training at all levels, from police and detention officers to judges and lawyers, must be ensured. In order to adequately and seriously address and work towards the effective elimination of racial discrimination among women and girls in the numerous mentioned fields, documents such as the DDPA and the Beijing Platform for Action cannot be ignored or taken lightly. Lastly, men and boys must be educated and included in the discussions and dialogues in addressing racial discrimination and human rights of women and girls. Thank you.
I thank you. And